Let us continue with DTAA. Now some small concepts are left in this chapter. DTAA is done. The concept of permanent establishment is actually more relevant in the chapter of taxation of non-resident. But let's discuss overall the concept of permanent establishment here once more time. There is no harm in learning it again. Under Income Tax Act 1961, the taxability of the business profit determined by the existence of business connection. So according to Indian income tax law, business connection is more important under section 911 that we have already discussed. Under DTAA though, income will become taxable in India only if foreign entities are having permanent establishment in India. So look at the differences. If when NR is liable to pay tax in India, according to Indian income tax, if NR is having business connection, then it is taxable. And according to DTAA, if NR and only an NR having PE in India is liable to pay tax in India, NR who does not have PE in India will not be liable to pay tax in India. Then which law this NR will follow, sir? There are two different laws. One talks about business connection, which is quite wider concept, and another DTAA talks about concept of permanent establishment, that is the narrower concept. Which concept NR will follow? NR will follow the concept which is more beneficial to him. And obviously, the concept of permanent establishment seems more beneficial to him. Under the concept of permanent establishment, many non-resident who are having business connections in India but does not have PE in India are not liable to pay tax in India according to DTAA. Okay, that's the most important aspect. It may be noted that scope of business connection under section 9(1) is wider than the permanent establishment. Article 5(1) of DTAA usually provide that purpose for this convention. The term permanent establishment means fixed place of business through which the business of an enterprise is wholly or partly carried on. It can include branch, subsidiary company, agent. So lot of things are included in the permanent establishment. The term permanent establishment is also defined under section 92F, that is transfer pricing, to include fixed place of business through which the business of the enterprise is wholly or partly carried on. So what do you mean by permanent establishment then? A place of management, a branch, a office, a factory, a workshop, a sales outlet, a warehouse, a mine, oil gas well, quarry, or any other place of extraction of natural resources. Extraction, the word is extraction, not exploration. Exploration is just checking. Extraction means you are actually extracting minerals from the earth. Permanent establishment means fixed place of business through which the business of an enterprise is wholly or partly carried on. Okay, we have understood that. Every DTAA has specific clause where they define the permanent establishment. Okay, business income of a non-resident will not be taxed in India unless such non-resident is having permanent establishment in India. Taxability of income under the business connection and permanent establishment can be explained below chart. So ultimately you are supposed to remember this chart. Okay, taxability under Income Tax Act depends on section 9, and section 9 gives more emphasis on business connection, which is a wider concept, and DTAA between two countries focuses more on, please understand, permanent establishment. So ultimately for non-resident, I believe the concept of permanent establishment is more beneficial. So he will opt that particular benefit. So what about LISA office? LISA office, is it a permanent establishment? So recently through many case laws, LISA office is not a permanent establishment. Let's not go into deep into this particular concept. LISA office means office created only for handling documents and all. Okay, LISA office does not create any sales outlet, or it's not a factory outlet, or it's not a point of contact through which a business can be executed. LISA office is just primarily created for some documentation purpose, some execution purpose, back-end job, not front-end job, and therefore LISA office will not be considered as permanent establishment. And there are two case laws which are discussed here. Union of India versus UAE Exchange Center. What they are saying? Supreme Court held that Indian LISA offices of a foreign enterprise engage in a remittance services. What is their job? Only collect money and remit the money. Okay, would not constitute permanent establishment. Okay, this is one. The LISA office download information, name, address and beneficiary's account and remit it by accessing the main servers of assessing UAE, prints the draft and check. So this job is only basic back office job. Look at the data, download the data, print the check and distribute the check. So that is not a LISA office. One more case law, Samsung Heavy Industries Limited 2020 Supreme Court. The project office was set up solely for an auxiliary office meant to act LISA office between ONGC and the assessee. No expenditure relating to execution of contract was incurred by the project office. So project office doesn't incur any expenditure. Only two persons, okay, look at the company's name, Samsung, but only two persons are sitting in that particular office, were working in the project office, and they were not qualified to perform any core activity of the assessee. Therefore, Supreme Court again held that this kind of LISA office are not supposed to consider as a permanent establishment, and you cannot bring whole entity taxable in India just because they are having LISA office in India. Okay, thank you.